In this video, we will look at how to take a mixed fraction and change it into an improper fraction. This is going to involve multiplying and then adding. Let's again look at some types of fractions. 1 1/2 is considered a mixed fraction. This is because it contains two parts. The first part, the number 1, is a whole number. The second part, 1/2, is known as the fraction part. Together they make what is called a mixed fraction. 3/2 is also a fraction. The 3 is the numerator. The 2 is the denominator. We can see that 3 is larger than 2. And when this happens, this is called an improper fraction. We can convert a mixed fraction into an improper fraction. Let's look how that works. 3/2, as a reminder, we're going to take an improper fraction first and change this into a mixed number. To change 3/2 or 3/2 into a mixed fraction, we can take a look at it this way. 3/2, 1, 2, 3/2. We can change those into whole numbers by combining half circles into whole circles. That is 1 whole and 1/2. In order to do this, we divide 3 by 2. 3/2 is really 3 divided by 2. 3 divided by 2. 2 goes into 3 once. 1 times 2 is 2. And 3 take away 2 is 1. So 3/2 we can rewrite as 1 and 1/2. This is just a review. But let's look at, if we started with the mixed fraction 1 1/2, how we convert that now into an improper fraction. If we deconstruct the whole circle into halves, it will look like this. And now we can count each one as a half, 1/2, 2/2, 3/2. So we can rewrite 1 1/2 as 3/2, or 3/2. This is visually how we can do this. But let's look at the steps involved into mathematically changing a mixed fraction into an improper fraction. The first step, since we are changing 1 1/2 into an improper fraction, 1 1/2 is going to be converted into a certain number of halves. We're still dealing with halves, and so therefore all we need to do is to place the same denominator in your answer. The 2 in the question becomes the 2 in the answer. The same denominator will always appear in both. Step 2 involves multiplying the denominator by the whole number. So we take the 2, multiply it by 1, the whole number, and we get 2. Next, step 3, we add the numerator to your previous product. We just got the answer of 2 by multiplying 2 times 1, and now we add 1, the numerator, to give us 3. That 3 now tells us how many halves we have in 1 1/2. Let's try practice question 1. 4 2/3 is equal to what as an improper fraction? Well, we know step 1 says we keep the same denominator. It's going to be a certain number of thirds. 4 2/3 is going to equal a certain number of thirds. Next, step 2 says we multiply the denominator by the whole number. So 3 times 4 gives us 12. Now we take the 12, and to that we add the numerator in step 3. 12 plus 2 gives us 14. And that is our answer. We now have 14 thirds. 4 2/3 is the same as 14 thirds. Let's look at practice question number 2. 6 1/4 or 6 1/4 is equal to what as an improper fraction? Well, 6 1/4, we know step 1, we're going to be converting it into quarters. Step 2, we're going to multiply the denominator of 4 by the whole number 6 to give us 24. And in step 3, we add to the 24 the numerator of 1, and that will give us 25. And so 6 1/4 is equal to 25 quarters. Now you try the last one. 5 1/3 is equal to what as an improper fraction? Do you know what the denominator is going to be? That's right. It will be the number 3. And so 5 1/3 is going to equal a certain number of thirds. That's why the 3 is the denominator in our answer. Step 2, we're going to multiply 3, the denominator, by the whole number of 5 to give us 15. And lastly, we will take that 15 in step 3, we will add to it the numerator of 1 to give us 16 as our numerator. 5 1/3 is equal to 16 thirds, or 16 over 3. And now you know how to solve changing mixed fractions into improper fractions.